Oh, good evening, my Teaserking family. Teaserking here again. A wide variety to talk about. But because of time, we're going to hit baseball first. Then we're going to get into the economy and the gold and everything else. So, in baseball, now I don't know if some of these games have already played. Forgive me if they have. St. Louis over 9. The Yankees. Atlanta's a lock. Philly over 8.5. Baltimore over 9. That's over 8. St. Louis in game 2. Houston over 9. San Diego. Cleveland. Arizona over 9. San Francisco. Mini under 7.5 is a lock. And the Dodgers under 8.5 is a lock. We got 4 locks. Atlanta, Boston, Minnesota under, the Dodgers under. Again, let me quickly cover again. St. Louis over 9. The Yankees. Atlanta is a lock. Philly over 8.5. Baltimore over 9. Boston's a lock. The White Sox, the Mets over 8. St. Louis in game 2. Houston over 9. San Diego, Cleveland, Arizona over 9. 49ers, Minnesota under 7.5, lock. The Dodgers under 8.5, lock. That is today's baseball. Excuse me, if you want $25 for the week, I'll email you the picks. And again, I'm giving you all the picks. If I'm trying to tell you, hey, here's a lock, bet a little bit more on it. And I'm pretty good at my locks. Otherwise, you just, bet small if you want the action, whatever you want. I'm definitely making money at it, but it's not like football. You get the lines and everything where football, we focus on, we found Georgia under and Miami of Florida over. And, let's take Kansas City off of a loss or the Raiders or something. It's a little bit different. It's a lot of games, but just bet small. And then just take, if you're looking at it and we agree, then make a bet on it. The locks, if you're betting 25 a game, bet 50 on the locks. Betting 100 a game, bet 200 on the locks. Whatever you're betting, bet a little bit more on the locks. And it's all by ERA mostly and a little bit of average and who's hot and things like that. NBA hit Golden State last night. I'm sorry, I thought the game was Sunday. What the hell are they doing with the Monday game? I think the next game's Thursday, and then it's either Sunday or Monday. I can't pay attention to it. I can't keep track of what the hell they're doing. Why would they not have the game on Sunday? Anyway, had Golden State. That was the only time I said, don't bet the loser back, because it's sort of like Golden State back against the wall. Had they lost, they'd have been down 3-2 with needing to win the next 2, one in Boston. This way, they don't have to. Now, psychologically now, Boston must win the game, but Golden State flying back to the East Coast takes a lot out of you. And I could see them just, we can afford to lose. We're up 3-2. We'll come back home for game 7 in our own beds in Oakland. So I can see this as a pretty good, again, we're laying 4. Again, the spreads are not even close. They don't know how to spread them. And again, here you go. So take Boston, big lock. And then Golden State, game 7. Now, if Golden State wins, okay. But we've already hit the Golden State lock game 2, the Boston game 3, the Golden State game 4. So we're way up. So now you're just going to bet some of your money on this lock. Boston game 6, laying the 4. They'll win by 25. Again, in the back of Golden State's mind, they want to go home and win. They don't really want to fly coast to coast. It's like, we got to go back to Boston. Boston's excited. Okay, we got them at home. We have to win. And that's huge when the team has to win. To quote it like military, and that's where I get it from, The Art of War. It's great for everything. Strength against weakness. And it really works. And the key here is that in the strength, in a battle, when your back's against, you've been pushed back to the ocean like Dunkirk, and you're gonna die, and that's it. There's nothing else. You fight, and probably not Dunkirk, but a real battle. Like Hitler took his foot off the pedal at Dunkirk, but in a real war, when you're being pushed back, and there's the wall, and that's why his back's against the wall. There's a real wall that they were okay. We're getting pushed back here. You fight better because it's do or die, right? If I don't fight, I'm going to get killed. And so you get the adrenaline going and you go, I got nothing to lose, and you go and you just fight. The other team doesn't have the back to the wall, doesn't fight as hard. It's psychological. Golden State. Hey, Andrew. Yeah, about Boston big and then Golden State game 7, just like we drew it up. I hope you had Golden State Monday. I apologize. I thought it was Sunday. I don't know why they would play on Monday instead of Sunday. But yeah, Boston. Let me quickly give you the baseball locks because I don't know if some of these games have went, and I don't know if some of these I'll give you the locks. Atlanta, Boston, Minnesota under, and the Dodgers under. Those are the locks tonight. The Mets over, St. Louis in game 2, Houston over 9, San Diego, Cleveland, Arizona over 9, and the 49ers. Well, this is what I'm explaining as you caught me right in the middle of the explanation. Golden State doesn't want to fly to Boston, right? It's a cross country. Boston has to win. Their backs are against the wall. And this was my scenario. So what I'm saying is in a war, in a real war, Russia against the Ukraine, what happened? Ukraine's back's against the wall. They're going to die, and they're winning. And the Russians don't care. They're there for the oil. There's a huge oil deposit under Crimea on the whole coast and in Donetsk. That's why Russia's focusing on those two areas. There's a huge oil. Russia wants the monopoly. The Ukraine needs it to survive. They need that's a lot of money. It's like somebody coming into your house trying to steal your gold. So you're going to fight them. But Ukraine has the back against the wall, and look what Ukraine's doing. They're fighting them. Boston has to win or they're done. And we've seen them already in game 1, not necessarily, but in game 3, they had to win and they won. So take that as your lesson. Don't look at what happened in game 4 because Golden State was off the loss, had to win. In game 5, Golden State had to win or they'd be down, and then Boston could win in Boston. Boston must win the game. You must bet Boston. It's not hard to take them. It's 3-2. It's not like it's a sweep and Golden State's so much better. And keep in mind, the home team always looks better. Golden State plays much better at home. The role players than the Boston role players don't play good on the road, but at home they'll play better. So you're betting the role players, you're betting the crowd, you're betting the fact that Golden State can afford to lose and Boston can't. Back against the wall. That's the thought process. That's why it's a good bet. Boston can't afford to lose and Golden State can, and Golden State really doesn't want to fly to Boston. It's all the way on the East Coast, and they're like, why don't we'll win it at home. I mean, that's kind of their thought process. 35 units. I want to keep my money. And then I'll probably do 50 units Golden State on whenever game 7 is. That'll really be the big bet. But yeah, this is a strong bet on Boston. Absolutely. But see, now here's where you want to be a winner. So you've got to think of gambling as investing. So if I made $100, I don't want to give back $100, right? This is how I play poker. I want to make sure, okay, worst case, I give back 50 and I still win the 50. And that's what you got to think of. At worst case, I want to quit a winner. So I'm going to bet half of my winnings so far. Boston's -4 is what I saw. You can probably maybe get a 3.5. I just looked on Yahoo quickly just to get a feel of the spread, but it could be you maybe can get a 3 or a 3.5. It doesn't matter. The game won't be close. None of the games have been close. 30-point blowout, 10-point win for Golden State at home. This will be at least 10. I don't want to get into over-unders. This is not Georgia football. This is take Boston because they have to win, and Golden State doesn't have to. And the game's in Boston. Don't fuck with the over-under. Fix is in what kind of fix? Fix is in the economy, and it's in gold, but I don't know about here. I don't think the fix is in here. I think the fix, if anything, the networks want it to go 7. So if we're talking about a fix, the game, they want Boston to win to have a game 7. So I'm gonna agree that the fix is in, but it's not what you think. Well, no, they don't want it to finish. They want Boston to win, so there's a game 7. That's what the networks want, right? If Golden State wins, it's all done in 6. They lose out on the game 7 advertising and all the money. So no, if there's a fix, it's for Boston to win. Don't think about it. It's Boston has to win the game. Golden State doesn't. Boston will win. Well, yeah, anything can happen, but it's in Golden State. Anything could have happened last night in Game 5, and Golden State beat them by 10. You can't look at it like that. It's not that Golden State's not going to try. It's in the back of their mind. They know they can afford to lose. They can lose because then it'll be 3-3. Boston cannot lose. Boston, well, yeah, but it's think about it. Psychologically, Boston must win. Golden State does not have to. And this is when the teams are pretty even, right? This is pretty even. It was 2-2. Now it's somebody had to win Game 5. So that's the reason, right? Yeah, I know you get it. So, but that's the point. It was 2-2. If the teams are even, and this is pretty even, then you just take the loser back as we've done. But as I pointed out in Game 5, Golden State kind of had their back against the wall. They had to win, or Boston could beat them in Game 6, and they didn't want to have to go to Boston and win and then come home. As you're saying, anything can happen. So I feel very comfortable with Boston here. When they needed to win, they've won. If they get up, they might rest Steph Curry with the hurt foot or, anything. But Golden State's more apt to rest guys than Boston. Boston, Larry Bird will come out and play if he can. Robert Parrott, Dennis John, all those guys will be out there and playing if they could. So anyway, back against the wall is do or die. We have to. We can't lose. And that's how you get into a war. That's Russia and the Ukraine. Ukrainians cannot lose. Russia can. Russia has oil. That's why Russia's having a hard time. They don't even care. Half their guys are, I don't want to fight. They're leaving their tanks. They're leaving their weapons. And Ukraine is just outnumbered, but who thought they'd go 3 months, 4 months? So that's what I mean by backs against the wall. You cannot afford to lose. So that's NBA. Take Boston. Boston wins. Then it's a big lock. Golden State Game 7. If Golden State wins, then Golden State wins. That's why you're not betting 50. And then it's all over. So I gave you baseball. I gave you basketball. I want to talk about the movie The Gambler with James Caan for 5 minutes. I watched it, and, it's a cool movie. I liked it. And then I started analyzing it as Teaser King, as the professor would. And I start looking at it as the professor, and it doesn't make the whole movie doesn't make sense. It was all kind of the girl leaves, he loses, he wins, he asks his mother for money, the rich uncle won't help him. But let's take a look at the beginning. He loses $44,000. How the fuck can that happen? He obviously doesn't have it, and they obviously have a limit on him. So he could never lose 44 grand, which is the whole premise of the movie. There's no way he's going to lose 44 grand. And later in the movie, when he bets on the basketball games, 45,000, they make him pay up front. And then when he bets 50,000, they make him pay up front. They don't take the credit of the guy. So that's the first thing is how did he get down 44 grand? Makes no sense. Then the mother has it. Then in Vegas, now here's where I really have a major problems in Vegas. He gets on a rush, right? And I don't know if you've seen the movie recently, but it's a good movie. Gets on a rush, and he's playing craps. He wins 13 times in a row. Now I don't see if he sevens out or not. They don't show you that. Then the next scene, he's talking to the guy about basketball. Okay, why is he betting 45 grand on 3 basketball games and loses them all? And this guy's supposedly a basketball guy, and he so that doesn't make sense. He risked so much on 3 basketball games. But then we get to, I think he played Backrack next, and he gets hot, and he wins 500, he wins 1,000, he wins 2,000, and he leaves. Like, dude, you're on a winning streak. You don't leave on a winning streak. You stay and play it. Then he plays, I think he played roulette before that, and he hits a number, and he wins 12 grand, which I don't know how much he 36 to 1. So $100 is 36. So he must have bet like 500 or 400. Strange amount. On the number, it hits. He wins 12 grand. What does he do? He leaves. What are you doing? You just hit for 12 grand. You're playing the next few hands, the next few wheels. Where are you going? That's not what you do on the street. You keep playing. So now let's say he sevened out at craps. He hits the roulette and he quits, which you keep going. He hits the back rack 4 hands in a row, 2 natural 8s, and he gets up and leaves. Well, that was our time. This is what you're waiting for. This is what happened in the beginning. You lost 44,000, and you kept playing and playing and playing and losing and losing. Now you're on a winning streak, and why are you quitting? So he starts quitting. He gets up. He gets hot in back rack, and he walks away. No, you keep going until you lose. You keep playing the streak. Then he goes to blackjack at Caesars. And I was at Caesars. I remember that when it was like that. This was like 68 or 69. I had tears rolling down. He looks out the window, and there's this Rose Bowl sports book, and it's across from Caesars. I don't know where they weren't staying at Caesars because they were on the other side of the road. They must have been at the dunes or something. And I didn't see the Sands. I did see the Stardust, which brought tears to my eyes. And I was so happy to see this Rose Bowl sportsbook. You have no idea. Anyway, so he's playing blackjack, and he loses a hand. He's playing 5 hands. He loses, wins, doubles down on 18 and gets the 3 for 21. Why would you quit? Oh, that's it. No, that's not when you quit. You're hot. You keep going. This is the problem I have with the movie. In the beginning, not only, I don't know where he's getting the credit for 44,000, but he keeps losing and playing that streak, losing. Then all of a sudden he gets on a hot streak and he keeps quitting. Okay, back rack. Okay, I won 4 in a row. I quit. Oh, blackjack. I'm hitting 18s and doubling down and hitting 21, and then I'm quitting. No. You're not leaving that table for another 3 hours. This is what you're waiting for. This is how you gamble. When you get your hot streaks, you play them out until you lose 2 or 3 in a row. When you're losing, the 44 grand is when you limit it. All right, I'll take a couple grand. If I lose, I walk away. Teaser King. How do I play poker? I take 300 out, and if I lose, I walk away. And if I win, I win. And that's how you gamble as a winner, as a professor. You're gambling, and you got to understand you're gambling. And you've got to take your profit and say thank you and leave, even if it's $20 or $70. I gave you the 4 locks, Andrew. All right. Atlanta, Boston, Minnesota under, and the Dodgers under are the 4 locks. Aren't you enjoying this James Conn story? So they're all 4 are locks. I don't know. Take the Vikings under 7.5. How about that? I don't remember the Boston pitcher, and I don't know if the game. Well, it's 6:40, so most of these games should be live. There might have been an afternoon game. I think St. Louis is already on. The Yankees. What's your feel on it? Play your feel. I'm giving you 4 locks. Usually I'll go 3-1. So anyway, so that's the point. So when I'm playing the Jays, yeah, they couldn't beat the freaking Tigers. Who are they even playing? I don't even see them. I must have went against them. Who are the Jays playing? They playing the Argonauts or the Rough Riders? Or maybe the Tiger Cats. Baltimore. What do I got? I got ball. Okay, I got that game over 9. Play the game over 9. Baltimore's been hitting. The Jays have been hitting. Yeah, go over 9. There you go. Anyway, that's what you do when you are gambling, investing, anything, is you take the win and you say thank you. And part of it is I didn't lose. So when I play 11, no, there you go. It's over. Over under was 9. So I won that one. So I'm hot. So take the Vikings under 7.5 or the Dodgers under 8.5. I think there's some good pitchers on the Dodgers. Otherwise, the Vikings, I think they're playing Tampa and under 7.5 there. Anyway, so that's what you do. You've got to play. Everything happens in streaks, in everything, in work, in home, and just everything. So you've got to play your streaks. So when you're playing blackjack or you're playing backrack and you finally hit the streak that you're waiting for. I mean, you sit for hours and not win 4 hands in a row at backrack, or play blackjack and never double an 18 and hit the 21. You don't leave then, man. You keep playing. You just doubled an 18 and won. Where would you be going? And so, I mean, that's the problem I have with the movie is he shouldn't have lost 44 grand. And then he gets the money from his mother. Okay, take that. What are you betting 3 basketball games that you don't have a freaking clue on? And you're a big basketball guy and you get buried in all 3. And then what do? You bet 50 grand. You're still up 50 grand. You have the money to pay off and you bet it on the Lakers and you get, as I call it, Jonah, which means you get jinxed, and he loses that bet for 50. So he loses $95,000 betting basketball. What are you doing? And you're winning all this money at blackjack and backrack. Well, are you insane? Like, he doesn't understand how to gamble. You look for the streak and you pound it. And then when you start losing, you walk away. Now, that's what I did Friday night. I sat down at poker Friday night. I got cards all over the place. Aces, kings, ace, king, pair of 9, whatever. And and then I lost with my aces, got burnt against the guy, hits a set of 2s. And I know he's hit the set. It's funny. I bet 25 pre-flop, 2 callers, one has 5s, one has 2s. The 2s, the flop comes with a 2, has the set, check. I bet 45. Fold, he makes it 100. I fold immediately with my aces. He shows me the 3 2s, and I'm thinking to myself, but I was a good boy. I didn't say it. I know you had 3 2s. That's why you check raise me. That's why you don't check raise if you got a big hand, because it's very obvious you've got it, unless unless you do that a lot. But Friday night at MGM in Detroit, these guys aren't fucking around with the check raise. So again, that's what you're doing there. So you've got to be able to do that. So I knew he had me, but then the cards turned south. And I'm sitting for 45 minutes at 3-9, 2-9, 2 jacks. I think one hand I got a pair of kings. Some guy goes all in for $50. I did it. It brought me almost even. I played a few more hands. The cards were 3-9, 2-9, da 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 da. I get up and leave. I lose $30. I should have won more had my pocket aces held up. And the guy gets fives, and I bet the 45 he's going to fold. And I mean, he might call me, but I doubt it. I hope he does, and I win more money from him. And then I would have had a nice, $150 night. But okay, but considering I lost that hand and I only lost $30, I was very happy. But I didn't like to lose, and I gave it a chance to catch the streak that I had early, but I couldn't get it. And it was funny, when I was getting the streak, when I sat down, I couldn't win any. I'd win little money. I bet a little too aggressive on one hand. I got aces and nines. So I have ace nine. The flop comes 9-8-5. Lady bets 25. I call. I'm hesitating. I go, well, I got tap here, tap kicker. What does she have? Okay, I called. Then an ace comes on the turn, gives me aces and nines. She bets 45. Here's where I made a mistake. I made it 100. I'm figuring, oh, she's got a good hand. I should have just called and then taken my chance on the river, but I don't like to do that. I like to bet the turn. Anyway, that's where I could have probably won a little bit more and maybe lost a little bit, lost with aces on the check, made it 25. That's going to get him out anyway. So why risk 45 to get the same result I would have got with 25, right? If the guy doesn't hit the set, he's folding. If he does hit the set, then I've lost 45 instead of 25. So that's why it's not really good. Anyway, but that's what you're looking for when you get a streak. You go, hey, Nick. Yeah, all's fine. You're welcome. No, and that's why I don't mind. I prefer the emails when I'm not on. But as I said, I do this. Quickly, let me give you the lock baseball games. Atlanta, Boston, Minnesota under, and the Lakers, the Dodgers under. And I have Baltimore over, but Andy says that they're up 11-1. So I've already won that one. The White Sox, the Mets over 8, St. Louis in game 2, Houston over 9, the Chargers, Cleveland Browns, Arizona over 9, and the 49ers. I love throwing in my football stuff. I didn't take the Raiders for you. I don't know if I didn't see them or I just didn't play them. Talking about the movie The Gambler, how the mistakes were made. He's on a hot streak, and he keeps leaving. He wins 4 hands in a row at Backrack. He leaves. He hit doubles in 18, gets 21, and he leaves. What the fuck is he doing? That's what you're waiting for. And what we do is that streak, and then you get up and leave. Okay, I double down and hit 21 on my 18. Let's leave. No. You're not leaving for 2 hours when you're hitting that. Just stay. You're on a hot streak. Anyway, so that's what I'm talking about. We talked about Boston in game 6, lock. Golden State will be a lock in game 7. Now let's get to the other info that I was wanting to talk about, which is the economy, the gold, the stocks, and these idiots on YouTube. For some reason, and I don't understand this, these guys come across good. They are salesmen. Peter Schiff, this Rick Rule guy. Do you think they're smart? They're not. They're freaking idiots. They're salesmen. Why do I say that? Because these guys sit there, they never talk about COMEX. Oh, well, gold's about to break out of its little trend. As we've discussed, you do not trend fix things. COMEX is fixed. It's keeping the dollar down so people don't jump out of the market, don't jump out of the dollar, and they don't buy gold because that's where they should be, but they don't do it. Financial advisors. Me and Nick had this conversation. I don't mean to be anything on here, Nick, but to help others. Be careful of your financial planner. Ask them, do you have an economics background? I know they have Series 7 licenses, which all that means is they're salesmen, but ask them their background. Do you understand what inflation is? And it better be the devaluation of the dollar, not increased prices. Everybody wants to sell you, so they're going to say, stay in the market. Do that. Buy real estate. Well, not when it's high and interest rates are going up. You don't buy real estate. Do they ever want to tell you to go buy the Mickey Mantle card, the Tom Brady, the Jordan? Does anybody tell you to do that besides me? I'm an Austrian economist / football picker / everything else. I'm a critical thinker, and I think things through to understand them. I am not just giving you information without. So in Nick's case, the guy's telling him, but he doesn't tell him why. He says, well, Nick, keep money in money. You got enough gold. Well, no, you don't have enough gold. You don't have enough silver. You cannot have enough because it's collapsing. Did he ever tell you that the US dollar is not going to be the prime dollar anymore? The Russian ruble is now buying the oil from Saudi Arabia, China, India, and that whole side of the world is ruble backed by gold. They're not buying US dollars anymore. The US dollar is not the main currency anymore. This is the key. This is what I had an argument with the guy at poker Friday night. Oh, I'm a gold guy. And I just looked at, oh, really? Okay. And I'm telling him to buy gold. And he goes, well, what do you think the price is going to be? I go, $50,000 by the end of the year, $5,000 silver. Oh, it'll never get that high. I've been doing this for 50 years. And I go, well, when was the last time the US dollar wasn't the main dollar? Couldn't answer. That's the point. That's the key trigger, is the Russian dollar backed by gold and the US dollar no longer being the main currency. It's all going to the ruble and Chinese and this basket of goods and Saudi Arabia. What did I tell you? I told you the yen was going out. What is the yen? That's Japanese. What is it today? 135 yen to $1. It's going out. It's going bankrupt. They will not raise the rates. It's gone. Nobody will want it. That's step one. That's what I've told you. So watch what happens to Japan. It's coming here. So what are they doing? They're buying US dollars, which makes dollars go up. Do you really want to sell gold for dollars? Would you sell a Mickey Mantle card for dollars? Would you sell your Tom Brady or your Mahomes or your Michael Jordan for dollars now? Hell no. You'd sell it for gold and silver, but you wouldn't sell it for dollars. You don't want the fucking dollars. You want the real asset. I'd rather have the Mantle card or the Brady rookie or the Jordan rookie than a pile full of money that, as we're talking, is losing value. That's the point of it. You don't want to be in dollars. So to talk to Nick's guy, why do you want me in dollars is Nick's next question. In other words, oh, you have enough gold and silver. Based on what? Okay. I'm buying more gold and more silver as much as I can. I get paid tomorrow on the 15th. This new job, it's the 15th and 31st or 30th. Saturday, I'm running and buying more gold and silver. And if they keep the price low for me, it's more gold and silver I can buy. What do I want the money in the bank for? The 10 grand goes down and down and down, and it buys me 5,000. It's $5 gas. It's not $5 gas, as I keep explaining. You guys understand it. I know that. It's the value of the dollar dropping. So why do you want to hold the value of the dollar? Why do you want to hold the paper that's absolutely worthless? Why do you want to hold it? As you can see, everything's more expensive because this is going down in value. Now, the question is, why isn't gold and silver going up? And that's my point. It's price fixed by COMEX, but it won't last. You can only hold your fingers in the dike so long before all the water comes out. And that's what's happening. So they're trying to keep gold and silver down because the government doesn't want the competition of the dollar. But eventually people are like, where am I going to put it? Crypto is down to 2,000. The stock market's crashing. I don't want my money in bonds, and I certainly don't want my money in, okay, where am I going to put it in stocks? My story about Amazon, right? I'm at Target, and the guy in front of me is noticing the prices. I'm an economist, but he doesn't ask. And he goes, something about his money. I go, where do you have it invested? I got it in Amazon. It never goes down. I look, it was 3,300. Now it's 2,200. It's going to split 20 to 1. So what? That's not a good thing. 20 to 1 split. It split it. It was $122 for your 20 to 1, which equaled your 2,400. So now it's 120. You know what it's at today? 102. Multiply that by the 20 times split. Assume at least 1,000 shares, but he was a doctor. He knows everything. Means he lost at least $350,000, probably $1 million, because he probably had 2,000 or 3,000 shares of it. Well, that's Amazon. So what do you think the rest of the market's doing? There was no safe stock. Coke and Pepsi both got hit today. They would be the only safe ones because everybody can afford a Coke and a Pepsi, even though they're raising their prices. It's the small dollar stuff. It's Budweiser, it's Coke, it's Pepsi. Pepsi's good because it's got Doritos. It's got the cheap things that people will always be able to afford to eat. Those are the only stocks you can be in. And I know that because I did a thesis on it, on the trade cycle. So when interest rates are going up, the economy's slowing down. And I did a comparison of the stocks. So what stocks do I want to buy when the interest rates are low? GM, Ford, Toyota, because it's cheap to borrow. But as the rates go up and it's more expensive, you want to get out of homes. You want to get out of Caterpillar. You want to get out of Ford and GM. And the only thing left is Hershey's, Coke, Pepsi. That's it. And gold stocks are being hammered for no reason. This whole bullshit of, oh, the dollar's worth more because it's flooding in from Japan's what's really happening. But, the dollar, it's strengthening. But against who? It's worthless. It's crap. It's $5 a gallon gas. 6 for you, Andrew. What the fuck? He's Canada. What the fuck do I want? I'm going to sell my gold for dollars. I'm not selling my Mantle card for dollars. I'm going to sell my gold for dollars. And you think that people sold gold today, knocking it down $18 and $25 the other day. You think people are selling their gold to buy that? You have to be out of your mind to think that. That's all bullshit. That's the government giving you a story saying people are selling their gold to buy dollars because the dollars are stronger. They're stronger against the fucking yen and the euro. If you look at the euro, and the girls must be crying in Amsterdam, it's almost even now. So before it was $1.20, and you gave the girl a 60 euros was like giving her $80, $90. Now it's even money. So she gets 60 euros, she gets $60. So we're saving money if we go to Amsterdam. But that's the point. It's almost even. And soon it's going to be the US dollar will be stronger because the euro is fucked. They're printing it worse than we are. They're fucked. They got to pay for the oil they got to pay for the stronger ruble because now for their energy, they need a ruble backed by gold. So they're either come up with gold or they're paying a lot more for the ruble. Either way, they're printing their euro. These countries that print and print and print are devaluing it to death are all going out. The euro will be next after the yen makes its exit. And that's going to leave us. So in the meantime, what happens is people start selling their euros because they don't know what to do with their money. So they go, I'm going to buy dollars because it's the dollar. It's US. It's always worth it. Little do they know, the US dollar is right behind them going out. That's why you need gold and silver, because there is no currency. The closest currency to actually buy right now is the ruble. It went from 70 to 159 with these sanctions, is now 58. Went down $100 to the US dollar. So the US dollar is strengthening, really, as the pretty soon we'll be even with the ruble. It'll be even money there. You buy gold and silver because the value of your paper garbage, the value of this with a little president's face on it and some 10 or 20 or 100 is worthless. And people just aren't waking up to it right now. Oh, I got 100 grand. It's in Microsoft, or it's in stock. I'm in Amazon. That can never go down. I'm in Apple. And that's what's happening. They're in those stocks. They're not in gold and silver. You watch the Zuckerbergs, the Gates, they're all going to go broke. They're all going broke because it's all in dollars, even their stocks. The stocks are going to go down. Their money in the bank's going to go, oh, how can I got $1 billion? Your $1 billion, they don't have billions of dollars. They have it in stock. So the stock's not real. The government's been pushing it up, but lately I'm seeing the government is not pushing it up. So as they lose value in their stock, all of a sudden they're not billionaires anymore. They're dropping. All these billionaires have nothing. They don't have $1 billion in the bank. It's all paper and stock. They don't have anything. As the dollar goes out, whatever they have in the bank goes to zero. If they have their money in stocks, I can't wait to see Facebook go to zero or go to 100 and watch the Zuckerberg guy cry all the way, all the way. Oh, I lost $1 billion, because you're a fucking idiot. That's why you lost, because you don't understand. That's my point with you, Nick. Your guy's got to understand when he tells you what to do, he's got to give you the reason, as I'm giving you the reason. Why should you hold money? And he's got to answer that question for you, Nick, and for you, everybody else. Anybody that deals with the financial planner should just be dealing with me and listening. That's all you need to do. I will protect you. That's the point of these videos. The financial planner is a salesman. He's not an economist, as I am. He doesn't know. None of these guys understand what's about to happen. Everybody holding cash is getting fucked. And it's starting in Japan, and it's going to go to Europe, and then it's going to come here. And all the dollars are going to go to shit. And the only people that are going to make out are people with gold and silver and Mantle cards and Tom Brady cards. You need assets. Money. This is not an asset. It's currency. It's not an asset. It's a piece of fucking paper. Currency is the gold and the silver. That's an asset. You want to be in assets with this inflation going on. Biden's blaming the Republicans. He's blaming Putin. No, Biden, you printed the fucking money to death. It's you. You printed it. That's the value of the dollar, period. It has got nothing to do with rising prices. It's not inflation. It's the effect of the inflation. You print the money that it takes $5 to buy a gallon of gas or $6 to buy a hamburger. It's because the money's worthless. It's not, oh, well, they raised prices on the hamburger to $9. Oh, that's terrible. You're causing the inflation. No, it's the value of the dollars drop, that it takes more dollars to buy. It is not the oil companies. It is not Putin. It is not the Republicans. It's the Federal Reserve and your stupid $1 trillion spending and handing out checks to people as they gather it. So this is what the inflation is. There is no way to stop it. Nick, I hear Howard hoping to win big on game 6 or 7 so I can go out and buy more metal. Yeah, should be too beautiful. Yeah, Nick, they backs against the wall for Boston. I can't imagine them not winning. Again, Golden State, they don't really want to travel. And then now you're back at Golden State, back against the wall, and absolutely. So they're just made. And then we got lucky yesterday where we didn't play Boston, the loser, back, we got smart and realized that Golden State had to win it or they'd be down elimination game in Boston. And that was very key. So that was the only time we didn't want the loser back. But now we want Boston's going to win game 6 easily. So, yeah, I know you get it, Nick. And I'm saying this for everybody, but these are the questions that you ask. This is what's really going on. Now, you've got to be careful. Do not watch the fucking news. You can't watch half these salesmen. Mike Maloney gets on. Well, look at this teapot. Look at the trend. Gold might hit 2,200. I saw that today. I was so upset. Somebody saying, gold could hit 2,200, 2,300. This DB Mooney guy was on this one finance thing, and I lost it. What a fucking idiot. He's sitting there going, if gold goes up $100, it's owned by kings and wealthy people and central banks. And I'm like, dude, it's got nothing to do with who owns it. It's got nothing to do with the transactions. It's got to do with the value of the dollar going to nothing, taking more dollars to buy it. And once people discover they need it, everybody's going to run in and buy it. And yes, the rich kings and queens and jacks and tens and all the people who have it, we're going to go, I can get $20,000 for my ounce. Yeah, I'll sell it. Of course they're going to sell it. But how much do they think? Okay, the Chinese and the Russians, the Chinese have 25,000 ounces. At that price, they start selling. They go, wow, it's at 50,000. I'm going to start selling it. People will look to buy it, push the price up. And it's not like it's all sold out, but it is harder. My guy went to on Saturday, and I ended up buying just a few ounces of silver because I get paid tomorrow. So it was like I had bought 8 ounces on Tuesday, 8 ounces of gold. So it was kind of like, I'm just going to go see. So I bought 5 ounces of silver for $180. I bought 5 eagles. I got to buy something. And he only had 2 gold eagles left. He said I had 7 or 8 Friday night, and Saturday morning, some guy bought all of them except for 2. This is what's happening. This guy's still able to get a few. He doesn't get a lot. He gets 8 or 9 in, and somebody buys them. That's where push goes in. I feel like the only issue down the road can be selling it. Don't worry about that. And finding the right people will be able to buy it from you at that time, if that makes sense. Here's what you're missing, Nick. There's going to be a frenzy. Now, we see it in football, right? What do we see? First, I'm going to be contrarian with you. I said Georgia's going to beat Alabama in the championship game. What did I get? Oh, no, Alabama's going to win. They want Nick Saban to win. They want Alabama. I stuck to my guns and said, fuck you, and I locked Georgia, and Georgia wins the game outright. That's me being me. Once I make up my mind, and I'm pretty sure of what I'm understanding, Georgia has the best defense in 25 years, as good as the 75 Steelers. And the 85 Bears, I'm taking Georgia. And what did they do? They won. And even though people were against me, I didn't care because I was right. And the second thing is, be proving. That's what I do, Nick. Is see what's good about me and what I've learned is I feel that the only okay. So again, what happens? When there's a friend, when I give a lockout and the spread jumps up 3-4 points, could have probably gotten that Georgia line even better down since everyone that's my point. We knew Georgia was the play and they were going to beat them. But here's the point. What happens? There's the emotion. There's the greed. This is going to be fear. So as gold goes up and it hits 5,000 and everybody sees it and everybody runs to it and everybody wants it, Nobody gives a fuck about the price. They want to own the ounce. Like now, I get it for $19.50. I don't care what the price is. I just bought 8 ounces of gold is what I look at, not it cost me $16,000. I didn't give a shit about that. What I cared about was I got the 8 ounces because they're going to go up to 50,000 an ounce or so, at least what I think. And that's, again, my Georgia. I think it's going to go there because the dollar's going out. It's not the premier currency anymore. That's the proof. The Russians are backed by gold. It's going to force the demand for gold up. China wants it. Everybody, Russia, China, India want gold. That answers your question, Nick. Who's going to buy it? It's going to be some guy named Boris or some Chinese guy. They're going to take your gold in 2 seconds, like shit through a goose, and you sell it on eBay and you get the fair price. Or maybe you go to the coin store and the guy will be so anxious to get it because he's got it sold, he'll buy it back from you. But normally you're going to get a little discount selling it to a seller. You want to sell it to buyers. Even if you go into the coin store, I thought about this and see some guy looking at gold. I pull him aside saying, I'll be $10 under whatever he marks it for you. Here's the gold. Here it is. Here's 5 ounces of gold. If he's going to be 2,500, I'll do it for 2,475. Here it is. It's gold. You can check it out. And I'll get his money instead of the store. I mean, you can even do that. You can just hang out there. But don't worry about selling it. Believe me, there'll be lines and lines of people like a Disneyland ride waiting, wanting to buy it, because if they don't have it, they know their only chance of survival is to have gold. I'm telling you, we're going to walk into a Mercedes, me and you, we're going to walk into a Mercedes dealership with 1 ounce of gold, and we're going to buy a $100,000 Mercedes Benz. That's what we're going to do. And and then you're going to buy your house with 2 ounces of gold. You're going to walk in, buy a nice house. What's happening is, so I got $1 million house. I'm an idiot. I don't know. I don't listen to Howard. And so I don't know what to do. I've got my money in Amazon stock and I'm losing my ass. You know what? I bought on margin. I got to cover it. I got $1 million house, but interest rates are high. I can't get any money for it. As the money deteriorates and goes down in value, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit there and, I'm going to take gold for it. If I can get gold for it, that's I don't want dollars. The dollars keep deteriorating. I'm going to want gold. Here comes Howard and Nick wants to buy a new place. He says, I'll give you 1 ounce of gold for your $1 million house that's probably now worth $500,000. And the guy's so excited to get the ounce, or maybe 2. He's so excited to get it because he needs the gold, because he understands that's freedom. He doesn't have a choice. He can't be in paper. You don't want US dollars because you see what's happening. At this time, gas is probably $8 or $9 a gallon. And he takes your ounce or 2 and he sells you the house to get the 2 ounces of gold. Because at that point, the ounce of gold is 50, 60,000 an ounce. Because the panic of the people, and once you get 300 million people who live in the US, so let's say we get 100,000 of them, and you're going to get the Gates and you're going to get the Zetterbergs and you're going to get all these idiots who are IT people who don't understand a word of finance, and they're listening to their financial planners who's got them in stocks. Oh, buy the 10-year bond and keep your money in US dollars. It's worthless. The stocks are worthless. You fucker. You buy me gold because it's the only thing. It's going up and that's where I should have been. But you are too stupid to tell me to get into it. And here comes Nick. I'll give you 2 ounces for this $1 million house. He says, thank you. I got gold that way. And that's what will happen. I'm down for the Mercedes purchase. Could really use a nice S-Class laugh. Well, then you'll have one with 1 ounce. Now, timing, I don't know. I'm assuming the end of the year. It's happening much quicker than they planned because of what Russia's doing with their rubles backed by gold. And you can see it. It's down to 58, 56 to the dollar. Give it another couple of weeks. It'll be in the 40s. Why? Because it's backed by fucking gold. That's the key. Believe me, Nick, everybody, the Russians and the Chinese will be more than happy, and the Indians will be more than happy to buy your gold. And don't think the Saudis don't want gold either. Believe me, everybody in the world knows about gold. It's been around since the fucking Roman Empire. Everybody knows about it. Everybody loves it. Everybody wants it. I remember talking to my friend in Romania, Carmen, and she's the one I travel with. And I made a comment on I was on Skype with her, and I says, well, do you like gold? And she says, Howard, every girl likes gold. This is in Romania. Everybody likes gold. You can't go wrong with it. It's always a gift for, my girls. Here's a quarter ounce. Here's a half ounce. I gave one to Jenna, my friend in the Ukraine, and she didn't believe it at first. She looked at it and I go, that's real. And she's a half ounce of gold. I go, it's worth $1,100. And she's like, and then I see her later on Google looking at a picture of it to verify that I was not bullshitting her. And then she finally got it, that it was real and it's worth $1,100. And so I have a friend for life with that. But I said it's to protect you. That's what you got to understand. Do not worry about getting rid of your gold. Once it takes off, everybody and their mother wants it. See, what's happening is psychologically, this is the basketball or baseball, whatever. Let's call it the basketball. You've won 2 in a row. You don't really have that killer instinct. This is a team that's won the first 2 games. What are they doing? They're sitting there. Here's gold. It's sitting at 1900. Well, gold's not moving. It's not a really good thing because I don't know anything about the dollar or gold. I haven't been taught. I haven't listened to the professor. I don't have a fucking clue what's going on. But you know what? I can look at the number, and Tesla is like $2,000 a share or whatever the hell it is. I don't watch it. Gold sitting at 1900. I don't want it. I can't think ahead. I don't know what's going on with the dollar, but I hear inflation, but I don't even know what inflation is. I think it's just an increase in prices. I don't think it's the deterioration of the dollar making everything cost more. And by the way, why isn't gold and silver going up? It means it's really being suppressed. So I don't get that. So I'm going to stay in Tesla, or I'm going to buy Amazon stock because it always goes up. I heard that. I laughed so hard. It always goes up. So you're telling me an Amazon stock goes up every day, and it's all it does is go up. And all I've done is watch it go from 3,300 to 2,400 to now it's 102. Which is times 20 is 2,000. So it's gone down 400 since the split. Oh, it only goes up. Really? So once you see this, so people don't understand it. Once gold, and this is why I value it so high, once gold starts moving, and it ain't going to hit 2,500, it's going to hit 5,000. And once you see it going, and it's probably going to be it's probably going to go 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Just like in Vegas, right? You'll bet on a game and it's 7, and then this happened to me Thanksgiving 5-6 years ago. Fresno State was playing San Jose State in a rivalry game. Fresno State had Derek Carr. The spread's 7. I bet Fresno State laying 1 Friday night. Saturday I wake up, the spread's 11. Just like that. The spread, they went up to 11. San Jose State wins the game straight out, of course, but the spread went to 11. People, they follow. They don't know, so they think it's good, and they jump on. And that's what we're going to see. When gold starts moving, once they get rid of the COMEX bullshit price fixing. So we got to get rid of that, which the Russians and the Chinese and the Indians will do for us, because they want all the gold, and all they are is derivatives. There's not usually a settlement. Well, they're going to make them settle, and they're going to say, fuck you, I want the gold, and they can't produce it because they don't have any, and that'll be the end of it. And that's when we'll start seeing the market run. And once it runs, everybody will jump onto it. And that's what we're waiting for. Silver is ridiculously cheap. Nick, at least buy 10, 20 shares of 20 ounces of silver. You can buy American Eagles like 33, 34. They're like getting more expensive. They're like 11 or 12 over. So for 20 ounces of 660, at least buy 20 ounces of silver. It's going to be at least 2,000 an ounce, and you're looking at it for 33. That's a no-brainer. That's dinner, $600, a couple dinners. That for sure you should be doing. But I'd like to see you get a little bit more gold, because gold's going to zoom in thousands, right? Silver will maybe go from 27 to 500 to 1,000. Gold's going to go from 2,000 to 5,000 to 20,000. So you're going to get more bang for your buck, even though it costs you more. But you really want to own gold. Hard to find eagles here. I have bars, but afraid they won't be as desirable as eagles or coins. Nick, it's gold. Gold will be desirable. Any gold will be desirable. This will be desirable. Buy whatever you see. There, you just proved the point. What do you mean you can't find eagles? Why can't you find eagles? Because there aren't any. The Russians are buying them. The Chinese are buying them. The Indians are buying them. Everybody that's why you can't find them. That you just answered the whole question. The demand is there. The price is phony, but price is cheap, so everybody buys them. That's why you can't find them. Call up my guy. He has them, or at least he does, and just PayPal him a couple $1,000, and he'll FedEx them to you for $15 to your home, and you can't lose. But that's really, I mean, I bought 6 Maple Leafs and 2 Eagles on Tuesday last week, and that's all you got to do. So just take your money and buy your gold. Now, if you have to buy $half, quarter ounces or half ounces, I joke with my guy. I says, well, do you have a quarter? He says, well, it's more expensive for the ounce if you buy, because the quarters are like $5.75. He says, well, that's like $2,200. I go, yeah, but I can't spend $2,000 every week on gold. That's why, the $5.75 and a few ounces of silver, it's $700-800 instead of $2,000. So he understood, but so you just proved your point, Nick. It's hard to find. Why is it hard to find? If nobody wants them, it would be easy to find. And the price would be $25 if nobody wants them. That's what you got to think through. Why is it easy? Why is it hard? And that's when you really get it. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. Why is it hard to find? Because everybody's buying it. This is the point of the price fix. The real price should be $5,000 an ounce at least right now, maybe $7,000 an ounce. COMEX, which is bullshit derivative paper, there's not an ounce of gold that goes with it, and they're keeping it down on purpose because the government wants them to keep it down, and the Chinese and Russians want to buy more. So they keep the price down, so nobody's interested in it. However, as we just see, people are interested in it. People want to buy it. That's why you can't find it. But it's not being reflected in the physical price because you're not seeing the physical price. All you see is the derivative paper price. That's not real. See, in football, we know what the spread is. It's right there. We can see when the spread goes from 7 to 9. We can see the betting action. It's real. That's the market. So we see the 7 go to 9 or the 9 go to 7. You can see it. You can't see the gold go up from 7 to 9 because the derivative bullshit market is keeping it at 1,900, 1,850. See, there's no demand for it. Here you go. You can't find them. Believe me, 1,900 is not a real price for the gold coins that we are buying. Or the bar. It doesn't matter, Nick. The bars, the coins, it's all fine. Just don't buy ETFs. Don't buy the stock. Anything paper, it's not real. If you bought an ETF, you wouldn't own an ounce of gold. You'd be fucked because when gold goes up, give me my coins. Well, you don't have any in an ETF. It's bullshit. So you can only buy the real coins, the real bars. So keep that in mind. Call my guy. I sent you the number before here. This is my weekend shot, my Eagles. So here's the guy. He'll FedEx it to you for $15 fucking. He's able to get inventory. He'll for sure have silver, but he gets gold in. So just ask him, tell him you know me, the crazy man who keeps saying it's going to be 50,000 an ounce. And now they're starting to believe me. That's what you want to do. Anything gold. Now, this is not as attractive as the coins. This is worth, he says it's 18 karat, so it's worth like 1,700 an ounce. This is 2 ounces. But a real coin is an ounce of gold, and it's all gold, so it's worth the full 1,900 or whatever. But keep in mind, when the spread moves from 7 to 9, they're keeping the spread. It's sort of like those stupid spreads when the line's 3 and they keep it at 3. They don't want to get middle. So the line's 3, but the juice goes from 110 to 120 to 130. They should be moving the line up to 5 or 6, which is what really should be happening. And that's what happened. But that's kind of what the premium is. So understand that. That's what you want. Buy it as much as, and I got into a fight with a friend of mine. I says, sell your 401k and you need to buy gold now. Oh, I'll do it soon. I says, you don't have time. First of all, how long is the price going to stay at 1,900? Secondly, how are you going to find it? Look at you. You can't find the Eagles. Maybe you can find the Maple Leafs or the Cougarans, which are perfectly fine to buy. You can find those. I mean, and see, that's my point. You'll get the money. There's no coins to buy. You can't buy anything. Or the price is now 10,000 an ounce. You can't afford it. All you can afford is a couple quarter ounces at $2,500 when now you can buy the ounce for 1,900. So that's my point. So we're kind of in a flux of we need to buy it quick because we don't know when the shit's hitting the fan here. We can see it. Bitcoin's down. The market's down. The dollar's up because the yen people are selling it. But that's my point. The dollar, you're trying to sell me that I'm selling my gold to buy dollars and you want me to believe that bullshit? Who the hell is telling you that? And who the hell is believing it? No, I am not buying gold. I'm not selling my gold to buy dollars because I love this one. There's no interest. You don't get interest on it. How much interest are you getting on your fucking bank account now? 0.5%? As the dollar deteriorates and it costs me 5 of these to buy a gallon of gas, you're going to try to get me on there's no interest rate on gold? Really? How about value? How about the fact that it's going to be worth 10,000 an ounce and I paid 1,900? What do you fucking call that? Okay, I didn't get interest on it, but I just 5 times my money on a $2,000 bet that's now worth 10 grand. Think of it as a bet. This is the biggest lock I can give you, and it's guaranteed, and it's going to pay you much more than worst case. If you need the money tomorrow, you sell it and you get your 2 grand back, or maybe you get 1,950. Either way, that you've got your money. So it's like a do-over on a bet, right? How many bets can you make? And here's the ticket. I want my money back. Basically, what you're doing. This is locked. This is Golden State game 4. This is Golden State game 2. This is 100-unit lock. This is not maybe. It's just a matter of time till the collapse happens. It's being accelerated by the good old Russians and the U.S. dollar, not the main dollar. Those are the keys that you're not hearing anybody talk about except for me and a couple of European guys that I listen to are saying this. And that's, I'm not stupid. I hear it. But when I hear bullshit, when I hear Peter Schiff and Rick Rule and all these fucking idiots, and they're looking at charts, and oh, look, it's a teacup, and it's going to, when I hear that, I turn it off and I give them negative. And I say, why don't you watch one of my videos so you can learn what the fuck's going on, because you don't have a clue. Oh, gold might hit 2,200. No, gold's hitting 5,000 to 10,000 and then up to 50. That's where gold's going. Now, the timing, you can't say, but the difference is a football game. We knew when the Alabama-Georgia game was. We knew it was a date. We knew when the game was. We knew what the line was, and we bet it. We don't know when this is exactly happening. There's no schedule for gold to hit 5,000 on December 7th. We don't know that, but we know it will happen. And once it happens, believe me, Nick, you'll get rid of it. No problem. People will be lining up to take your, especially Russian people, Chinese people, Indian people. They'll want to get their hands on gold. Once the frenzy happens, they can't wait to get it, and that's what's going to happen. You'll have no problem getting rid of it. Do you worry about if you bought a Joe Burrow rookie card, or if you bought a Brady card, or Jordan or Mantle? You own a Mantle? Are you worried about getting rid of your Mantle, your Mays, your Koufax, your Brady card? Are you worried about selling it? No. Why would you worry about selling it? There's a line a mile long. If you had a PSA 10 Mickey Mantle 1967, you'd have a line out the door to buy it, especially depending on the price. That's my point. You will have a line out the door because gold is money. People, the money will fail, the US dollar, and they'll be freaking out. What do I do? Because they don't listen to me. They don't know what to do. They're listening to these other idiots. Buy stock, buy real estate. You should be an Amazon, buy a house. This is what they're listening to. And as they go broke, now they're going to go, what the fuck do I get into? I'll just stay in money. Oh, wait a minute. Now my money's worthless. So as gas goes to $10 a gallon, me and you, Nick, and my other viewers will be sitting there going, doesn't bother us. I have gold, and my gold's worth more than the $5 to $10 an ounce, a gallon gas, or my tuna that's now 3 ounces for the same price. That's what you have to do. So you have to understand the reason. So when you can have me as your financial planner, just listen. You have me as your financial planner. You need to ask him, why do I want dollars? You need to ask them, where do I go? You need to ask him why no more gold and silver. And you need to listen for his answer. Because if it ain't what I'm saying about the dollar, about the Russians, about the Chinese, the Indians, we're not the lead currency. He doesn't know what he's talking about and run fast. Just because he's a financial planner and he got his Series 7's license doesn't mean he knows what the fuck he's talking about, because most of these guys don't. Just like in football, how many handicappers do you know that hit the Georgia game, that hit the Miami of Florida over, that hit Cincinnati and take the 10? You wanted the Rams because of Aaron Donald and Stafford. And I talked you into Cincinnati and you won. How many people have my skill set in football that you want to listen to bet your hard-earned money? And now let's take it to economics, gold and silver. I know more about gold and silver than I do football. And I know more about football than 99% of the people out there. And I don't care. I'm not saying it to pat my head and say, look at me, you should give me $1 million to invest for you. No, I'm doing it because this is my family, this is my passion, and I want you to win. I want to protect you. That's why I'm telling you to buy gold and silver. I don't make a nickel off of Nick or anybody by telling him to buy gold and silver. I'm not a salesman. I don't make money. If he buys gold for my guy, I don't make a nickel off of it. I'm just telling him a good place to go. So keep that in mind. Your Series 7 guy has commissions to make. What's he going to want you to do? I want you to report back, Nick, and tell me what this idiot's telling you to do. Keep your money in money. Okay, keep a little bit of money to pay your bills. I get it. I'm glad you have a safe job that probably will still be there. You take that money, you pay your rent, the rest of that money you put into your. Now, you can have 40,000 in your savings account, and then good luck going to the bank saying I want it. I went and got 16 grand to buy my gold and silver last week. I almost didn't get it. They barely had 16 grand to give me. That's 16 grand. Imagine you got 50 grand. Forget about it. You're not getting the 50 grand. You're going to have to go there 3 times to get the 50 grand out over a few weeks and hope nobody else is going to get their money out, because the banks don't hold your money. You give them 50 grand, it's gone. They're not 50 grand. Howard Robbins, Teaser King, here's your 50 grand. They don't have it. They don't have anything. Very little, and they buy it from the Federal Reserve. Comes in a little truck like Money Heist, and they bring in some bay. Here's 100 grand for the day. That's what they do. So you're not going to be able to get your money out. So you have to be careful. You can't trust the bank. You don't want safety deposit box in the gold. Do not leave it in the bank. Do not leave it in the credit union. That gold goes into your safe in the house. And I'm thinking Money Heist here. Now, give me your thoughts on this. Being the professor, I'm thinking, I got to do this, to buy brass that looks like gold, put it in a safe. If anything happens, because God knows the shit's going to hit the fan, they can steal it. They're stealing my brass. My gold will be somewhere else, safe and secure. People have asked me, where do I put my gold? And I'm thinking, well, you're buying 10, 20 ounces of it. Just buy a safe, put it in your bedroom or hide it somewhere. But I didn't really think, as I've been collecting it, going, what happens when I get 200 ounces? Is it safe in my house? Maybe I got to go to Switzerland and put it in there. So I'm thinking, if you get a large amount, you've got to be careful. Now you're talking millions of dollars. If gold hits 50,000 an ounce, I got about 4 million. Well, if I get another 50 ounces, I got a lot of money I got to protect and be careful with. So I got to figure out how you get it to Switzerland. Do you FedEx it? Can you take it on the plane and put 100 ounces in your pockets as you fly to Switzerland to go to the vault to store the money? This is a good question. Then you want the money. Can you get it? How easy is it for them? Give me 5 ounces. I want to buy a house. How easy is that? That's the question. So, hey, Derek, don't give your money away. I'm not giving my money away. Boston doesn't have it. They're a few years away. Blind man can see Golden State has this series now. Boston is done. Derek. The back's against the wall for Boston. You cannot look at the game 4 where Golden State had to win, or game 5 where Golden State had to win. Look at game 1 and look at game 3. When Boston lost game 2, they won game 3. Golden State was going to win game 4 because they lost game 3 and they couldn't go down 3-1. Yesterday, Golden State had to win because they couldn't go down 3-2 to Boston. Boston will win game 6. For Nick, Golden State will win game 7 because I know Nick bet the series. He took Golden State. Golden State will win game 7. You can't look at the game on the road. The players are different on the road than they are at home. Golden State knows they can win game 7 at home. They don't really want to go to Boston. They can afford to lose. Boston's going to play like there's no tomorrow, which there isn't. Backs against the wall. I would not play Golden State game 6. I will play them in game 7. You can't look at a game 5, and they only lost by 10. You can't look at game 5 in Golden State, a game Golden State had to win, and then think Boston's going to play the same at home in a elimination game. Don't think like that. We don't think like that here in Teaser King world. We think backs against the wall. We bet Boston. Game 7 is where we dump everything on Golden State. So think of the psychology. Boston can't lose. Golden State can. Golden State doesn't want to travel to Boston. Boston at home will give them their best game. Emotional, the crowd, their role players play much better at home. Boston wins. Not a problem. But Golden State wins the series game 7. And as far as my money, I'm not betting gold and silver on it. I'm betting paper garbage, U.S. garbage. Anyway, so that's really what's going on. So don't listen to these idiots who look at a chart on gold and think, well, it might hit 2,200 because kings and queens and jacks hold it and rich guys hold it. They're not trading it. Well, we're not up to every ounce. And I don't care who you are. It doesn't mean you don't trade it. I'm the teaser king. I'm buying. But if it hit 50,000 an ounce, I certainly might sell an ounce or two. Or I might go to the Mercedes shop with an ounce of gold and buy a Mercedes with it. When the US dollar becomes worthless, I'm going to need gold and silver to buy food and take a trip and buy a house. I mean, that's all going to be, that's why I'm going to use the gold and silver. So I don't know. I know Bill Gates probably doesn't own any gold. So I didn't understand that logic that the rich people are the ones owning gold and they're not trading it. Nobody's selling it unless you must have it for, if you're on margin and your stock is Amazon and it just dropped $500,000 because it split 20 to 1 and then proceeded to go down 20 points. So basically you've just lost maybe $1 million, and maybe then you need to sell your gold. But he didn't own any gold. He was a doctor. He didn't own any gold. So I don't buy that shit. That's the point of this. Buy silver. It's so fucking cheap, and gold. Make your money on Boston, then Golden State. Take that money and buy silver and gold. Find a safe for it or a safe place, not in a bank. And just go from there. That's our key. Do not listen to these idiots looking at charts on a price fixed gold or silver. It's much, much higher than the 1900. Understand that. Golden State and 7. There you go, Derek. Derek, remember, I gave you Georgia over Alabama. Trust me. You must trust the Teaser King. I do not like to give out losers, and especially to my family. I take care of my family, so I am telling you the logic behind the bet. Every bet can win or lose. I lost with pocket aces, and some idiot hits a set of twos. He has twos. He calls me. A 2 hits on the flop. He hits a 20%er. I lost, but I had aces over twos. I'll play that every time, but it does lose. But it shouldn't lose, but it does, and that's what you got to keep in mind. Gold will go through the roof thanks to the Russians backing the ruble by gold, thanks to the U.S. dollar no longer being the petrodollar. It is now the ruble is the petrodollar, and the Saudis. Watch what happens when our idiot Biden goes to Saudi Arabia. Let's see what happens then. You think they're going to give him a warm welcome after he just screwed him over? I doubt it. He's begging, oh, please, oil. Biden, you got all this oil in freaking America. Just use it. Oh, we can't use that. That would only make sense. Let's blame Putin that oil, that gas is high, that inflation's high. Who can I blame on that? It can't be me. You printed so much money, Biden, that it's worthless now. And you can't just keep printing and printing and printing. So I think everybody here understands that's inflation. You print the money to death. That's inflation. Not the prices going up. That's the effect of printing the money, making it worth nothing. Everything else, the prices then go up because you're giving me money that's worthless. Pretty soon, people will realize that, and they're not going to want it. The Russians and the Chinese don't want it now. You heard Putin. I don't want your paper bullshit. I want real money. I want gold for my rubles. And so you got to understand, once people stop listening to their financial planners and listen to me and listen to you guys and realize that gold and silver is the only way out of this mess, once they realize this, the gold's going to go, the derivative market will collapse and off we go. And they won't want dollars. And you'll go to Wendy's and they're not going to take your $10. And This will be interesting. They'll have to come out with a new currency because the faith, in other words, I don't want it anymore. It's worthless. As soon as it hits that level, which all currencies that are not backed by gold hit, the Romans all the way through, the Brits, the French, the Japs right now, the Euros are going to be next. Lines are out in college football and NFL regular season. Do you have any teams in mind or games? I haven't seen the lines. I haven't really looked at them. It's only June. Georgia, we got to see if their defense is the same. The Miami of Florida, if Van Dyke's the quarterback. So the first thing we got to do is look at the quarterbacks. If Van Dyke's the starter at Miami of Florida, we're going to bet that game over. We look at who's our starter. We know the Alabama starter, the Ohio State starter. Those guys were freshmen. That's what you want to point to, the opening game. Then you want to see, then you're watching, how good's Georgia's defense this year? How good's Clemson's defense? Who's got a new strong defense that's like Georgia's? And that's what you're waiting the first 3 games for. Is Georgia's defense going to be as strong? If it is, we're going to make a fortune betting under on them like we did last year. That's what you're looking at. So don't know. Pros, I think we have a fairly good. We know Brady's playing. We know Rodgers is playing. We got Russell Wilson is now at Denver. That's going to take him a few weeks. Seattle has no quarterback. A lot of teams don't have a quarterback, so we got to see who their quarterback is. Jacksonville still has the terrible Lawrence, so they don't have anybody. They had a good draft, so they're probably a better under team with the Georgia defensive linemen throwing into that defense now, making the defense stronger, and Lawrence still stinks. So we've got to watch. It's a bit early. Maybe like a Michigan, Ohio State. If Ohio State's favored, if Michigan's favored, we want to bet Ohio State like I did a few years ago. But generally, Oklahoma's coach went to USC. How are you going to bet Oklahoma? Alabama's going to be crying because they didn't win the title. So things like that. Alabama usually wins that first game because they play a Duke and they win by 30 because they gear up, and then the rest of their schedule sucks until LSU, Auburn, and those teams, maybe Georgia or Florida. So not right now, Derek. There's no hurry. The lines aren't moving. So anyway, I'll take a look at it, though, Derek, maybe this weekend. So watch what's going on. You're not getting a real price in gold and silver. Understand that. There's far more demand than what it is. Buy as much as you can. You cannot lose. It's a lock. It will go up. It has to go up. As people realize what's happening, the price is going to go. You will have no problem getting rid of it, even if you got to go on eBay or go to the coin store. Absolutely a lock, and just be careful who you listen to. You got to take my words, and then when somebody tells you something, does Teaser King agree with that? Is that really? Because I'm telling you what's really happening. These guys are trying to sell you. Do they actually, buy stock? Really? In inflation, all the costs are going up. The prices of the stock are dropping. Want to buy stock? Really? Why? And then he's got to give you a good answer, which he can't do because you don't want to buy stocks. Georgia giving Oregon a ton of points. I don't know. I mean, I can't help you there. I don't know. I got to see Oregon's quarterback and Georgia. What's going on? It's betting on last year. So I got to see the lineups first. Ohio State 15 over Notre Dame. Now that could be a good one because Notre Dame's coach is gone. So maybe that's a good one, but don't look for a live dog and a good defensive team. And I don't know if you can find one yet because we don't know. Clemson had a good defense last year. Georgia, we know, had the best, but Their whole defense went to the pros. So keep your eye on that. Maybe Philadelphia Eagles, they got 2 Georgia defensive players, probably be better. And I think Green Bay got 2 Georgia defensive players, so they should probably be a lot better. Florida is 4 points over Utah. I have no. Florida sucked last year. I don't know who their coach is, their quarterback. Find out the coach, find out the quarterback. What's going on with Utah, coach and quarterback? It's just too early right now, and I'm not in a football mind. So appreciate the points in the games, but I can't make a pick right now. I'll have to wait to buy my football book and then see who's there. Oklahoma has UCF old quarterback. Mackenzie Milton is gone. He retired. If it's Dylan Gabriel, then yeah, that he's a good one. They'll score a lot. Who's Oklahoma's coach? Is he an offensive guy like the other one, or what? I don't know. Now Pitt lost their quarterback, who's not that good anyway. Nevada lost their quarterback. I'm not sure about Fresno State, if they still have their quarterback. Look for returning quarterbacks. Yes, Ohio State. Yes, Alabama. Yes, I think Georgia's is returning. Miami of Florida is the key. Van Dyke, he's the superstar. He's the number 1 pick. So if he's back, then that's the low spread that Vegas doesn't know about. So anyway, that's what's happening. So anyway, don't pay attention to this phony gold price, NASDAQ derivative paper price. It's not real. As Nick said, you can't find Eagles. Well, you're telling me you can't find it, but the price isn't going up. It makes no sense that the price should be going way up because it's hard to find. So that's what you need to look for. Anyway, I think I covered it. Anybody that charts gold and silver is an idiot and don't pay any attention to them. It just doesn't make sense. There's no point in it. It's they don't know what they're talking about. So just be careful with these guys. And then everybody and their mother, we're going to have a recession. Oh, really? I told you that when the yield curve inverted, because the yield curve inverted 6 months ago. Yeah, of course you're going to have, anytime you have inflation, you have a recession, which means a slowing of the economy. Well, when you make things more expensive, of course the economy has to slow because people don't make their own money. They can't print it. So therefore, you don't buy as much. Therefore, the economy slows because things are more expensive. Interest rates is a cost of money, the cost to borrow money. If that goes up, of course, the economy slows. Is a recession bad? Not necessarily, but it will hurt the stock market. And it's sometimes you can, like if you want to buy a house and it's in a recession and the prices go down, as long as you keep your job, it's fine to buy the house or the car. So keep that in mind. The recession lowers prices for you, which is a good thing. You want lower prices, but don't get scared by these little small interest rate hikes. They're not going to last. It's only a few. Just to look like we did. Look, we tried. Everything's fine now. We raised the interest rates 0.5%. It's out 2.5%. Look at us. Yeah, inflation's 19-20% because you got to count fuel and you got to count housing and food, which they don't count in their inflation cost. So it's not 8.5%, 9%. It's 20%. And unless they make interest rates 20%, 1.5%, 2% is bullshit. But it's enough to fuck the stock market and the housing market, which are both collapsing. Get the hell out. Do not buy dips. The dips are not there. There's no value. Get out of it. If you're in stocks, sell it. Buy gold, buy silver. Just think about it. You're in a $100 stock that's probably worth $50. You sell it. You go into gold, which is $1,900, which is probably worth $5,000. It's a no-brainer. And you can't lose. something happens and you need the money, you sell the gold, you get the money. The gold will hold the money. The rest of this shit is going to lose the value, but the gold will hold the money. Keep that in mind. If you need $2,000, you sell your ounce. You get 2,000. But nobody wants to sell their ounces at 2,000. You want to sell it at 50 or 40 when you need it. NFL, Buffalo against the Rams. Where's the game at? And who's favored? Or is this like some neutral site? If Buffalo is the dog, then I definitely like Buffalo. The Rams probably will lose if it's in Buffalo because they're not that good. Stafford won because he was at home. He's terrible on the road. Buffalo is pretty pissed about the Kansas City game, and the Rams have nothing to play for because their backs are not against the wall, Derek. Buffaloes are probably more, and they're probably more pissed off the way they lost to Kansas City. So give me a line and give me a where's the game at? If you don't have it, that's okay. We'll find it. That's, I assume, week 1. Anyway, I got to study the draft, how it affects these teams a little bit more. No quarterbacks in the draft except for the guy at New England, Brad Zapke from Western Kentucky, the best quarterback in the draft. If Willis starts a game for anybody, I'm locking the other team because Willis stinks. He couldn't win at fucking Liberty. You're going to bet him in the pros? No, we don't do that. Well, let me know. All right, I'm going to go. I'm off to swim. I just wanted to touch base with all the bullshit going on. Gold is not 1,900, is 5,000 at least. And it's COMEX keeping it down, so it's not real. The Russians and the Chinese, believe me, will buy your gold as fast as you can sell it to them. So that's what's going on in reality, not the bullshit. Yes, it's a recession. Yes, the stock market's crashing. Do not buy. Yes, Bitcoin's crashing. Do not buy. Yes, the housing market's crashing. If you want to buy a house, wait about 6 months to a year. Interest rates will go up. Nobody's going to want it. BlackRock will go out of business. The Chinese housing market's crashed, so everybody needs money. So that's all what's happening. So don't get caught off guard. If you got questions, ask me. Just go www.teaserking.com. Go to my email, send me some questions, and we'll do a show. Like that's why I'm doing tonight, because the Knicks asked. Do you tease basketball with football? I guess you don't. Basketball, I just take. I don't need. There's no point in teasing. Golden State -4. I remember Nick asking me, "Do you want Golden State even? Should I play money line?" I says, "Lay the 4. They're going by 30. They won by 30 or 29." I was so proud of myself. They actually picked the score. No, I don't tease basketball. I don't think there's a need. There's too much scoring in it to tease it. Football, of course, because they're fixed. You can win, but you can't win by more than 7. So the line's 7.5. You can't win by more than 7. We're teasing -1. So when they win by 5 to beat the fix, we're fine because they won the game. They just couldn't win by 7. So that's where the teaser takes the fix out of it. Rams +1 at home. That line will move. Rams will be favored in that game. If the Rams go favorite, then yes, I like Buffalo. The Rams as a home dog, I got to check my stats on it, but I wouldn't take Buffalo as a road favorite. If you notice, Buffalo last year, they lost to Tennessee, they lost to Pittsburgh, they lost all really good teams, especially on the road. The only good team they beat was Kansas City on a Monday night, and then they lost to Jacksonville, and they're not. Josh Allen's not that good of a quarterback. I know you can yell at me and all that. He's not. He runs too much. Aaron Donald will lead him up, so you got to be careful with that. If the Rams should end up -3, then take Buffalo at 9. That's where the spread should be. This must be the opening line. I don't see the Rams being a home dog too long. definitely by, within a couple of weeks of the game, they'll be 3-point favorites. And you don't know what's going to happen. It's too early. I mean, Josh Allen could get hurt. Stafford could get hurt. You don't know, and it's just way too early to tell. There's no reason to bet this game now. The only games you really wanted to bet, like Ohio State, Michigan, I bet now. I bet it in August a couple of years ago. Michigan was a 3-point favorite. I laughed at the sports book at the VP, and I took Ohio State and 3. You didn't let me tease it, so I took Ohio State and 3. When they played, Ohio State was a 10-point favorite, and Ohio State won by 24. And I made sure I showed that guy my winning ticket. And his response was, "Did you bet $1 million?" And I'm like, "Does that matter? Like, you going to give me $1 million to bet on the game?" But doesn't mean it's not a good bet. Taking taking Ohio State +3 against Michigan. So those type of bets you should bet now. But there's no point unless you want the Rams as a home dog. Then maybe you get it now. The final line will be Rams -3 at home against Buffalo if everybody's healthy. That should be the line. Anyway, I am off to swim. It's hot here. So questions, please ask. I'm telling you what is going on. Like I tell you, football, gold will go through the roof because of the ruble, and they're not the lead currency anymore, the U.S. It is now the Russians and the Chinese and that whole basket of dollars over there are the lead currency, not the U.S. dollar, which is creating the value of the drop. This creates gold, at least in U.S. currency, to go through the roof. Then we'll figure out where it fits in other currencies, but you have nothing to worry about. Gold is actual money, legal money from all the way back to the Romans. It survived that. Believe me, there's nothing that's going to happen here. It's real money. It's a real asset. You have nothing to worry about. It's a lock. Gold will go up. Dollars will go down. That's for sure. That's all you need to know. Buffalo lost that first game to Pittsburgh. I remember they were up, and Pitt scored a couple in the fourth quarter to win. But again, that was at Buffalo. But then they lost to Tennessee, and they lost to the Jacksonville. The only teams Buffalo beats is Miami, the Jets regularly. They don't even beat Jacksonville on the road. They're not a great road team. Just, look at the matchups. Donald will be all over Allen. He won't be able to run the ball. And then Allen's not a very good thrower. I thought they lost a receiver to Buffalo. And then you got Stafford, who's the biggest choke in the world. So I don't know. To me, it's not attractive. Only if you want the Rams in 7 would I even look at that. Rams +1 at home. That's what I would look at. But Rams will be a 3-point favorite if you want Buffalo in 9. I think they're a good dog, Buffalo, but not a road favorite. All right, so please email me, www.teaserking.com. Email me. If you want my baseball, it's $25 for the week. I'll email you the games each day. I tend to play almost all the games, but I differentiate it with locks like I do here and go from there. So, again, you can certainly ask me gold and silver questions. The stock market's crashing. The Bitcoin's crashing. The housing market's crashing. The dollar's crashing. They'll come out with a new dollar so we can go eat at Wendy's, but that's about it. The gold will go through the roof. The silver will follow through the roof. That's all you need to understand. But if there's something you want to understand, let me know. If you talk to your financial planner, make sure he gives you an answer like I did. If he doesn't tell you the dollar is not the lead currency anymore, fire him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. If he tells you, we'll leave your money in dollars, you don't want to be in gold, fire him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not making this stuff up. You trust me. You know me. Georgia over Alabama. Who else picked it, right? So that's what we're talking about. All right, everybody, have a great night. Thank you, Derek. Yeah, well, football's soon. We still got we got 2 more basketball games, and then we're doing a lot of. I'm doing a lot of baseball. It's all ERA, so it's I've been doing pretty well with it. There's certain teams that just don't play well that I'm slowly figuring out and staying away from, like the Tigers and Oakland and Pittsburgh. They just aren't. Milwaukee, who knows? Anyway, have a great night, and I look forward to helping you some more. Avoid those markets. Get into your gold, even if you got to buy silver. Buy a safe. Go to Office Max or Staples. Fireproof. Although it doesn't matter with gold, you can't destroy it. And just hide it somewhere, and then we'll worry about it when we get a lot of money. I'll do some research on Switzerland. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you. Take care.